Okay. Well, so, living back to the successful launching, do you have any principles that you follow or you really think of? Because I think the onboarding piece is really critical, but then we touch a bit on in-person quarterly events, but that's so critical as you launch. Any other principles you recommend to people as you start to work with them?
Well, renewals is a really big event, right?
Mhm.
Especially the annual renewals. If I'm selling an annual contract, which is very typical for software companies, I'm selling an annual contract. I do not want to start my renewal process 30 days out from the renewal, right? And so what can I do to ensure or basically increase my confidence that the customer is going to renew? Well, it starts with the onboarding. It starts with, do I really understand their goals and their needs and their challenges? Have we invested in change management and any kind of support around that? Do we have the right relationship coverage within this account, right? So do I have the appropriate executive sponsor relationships, decision makers, champions, influencers? Do I have them identified? By the way, part of my job as an account manager is to make sure I'm working all of those people,
Mhm.
right? So those are all going to go into being very effective at identifying risks to the renewal, for example. We also then can start looking at things like, am I doing in-person business reviews with the customer? So these are sometimes called QBRs or quarterly business reviews. So if I'm doing the QBR with the customer, is it valuable? Are we sharing insights with the client? Are we asking them questions? Are we making this a discussion rather than just making it like a presentation all about me and my stuff? So that's a big problem that a lot of people have. Also, do we have some type of strategy document? This can be an account plan, the North Star metrics, the measuring value that I was talking about before.
Mm.
If I do any of those things, I want to do that right from the beginning, right? Because that's when we have the opportunity to set the stage and frame the whole thing and say, here's how we're going to do this. We want to start as soon as possible. By the way, sometimes we have this misconception that a customer will resist that, right? That they won't want to do all this stuff. But at the beginning of the partnership, that is the time, and customers will appreciate you being proactive, you being prescriptive with them. So you show up and you say, hey, here's how we do things and here's why we do it because it's going to help you be more successful. For someone who's invested any amount of money with you, they suddenly feel, okay, great, they got my back, right? They know
Yeah,
what they're doing. And that's really what we want to leave the customer with, that feeling of they've got my back.
certainly. Yeah. And it just starts them off on the right foot. And I'm dealing with a true professional here. I'm in good hands is really the kind of feeling you want them to leave with. This feels like a kickoff call on the post-sale side is very equivalent to a discovery call on the pre-sale side,
Yeah.
where you're gathering facts. And there's always that same hesitation on, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, but they don't answer my questions. But if you don't do that and put in that work and give context behind why you're asking the questions,
Correct.
that will come to bite you in the end. And you're going to run into some serious problems because you didn't uncover that information. It sounds like that's almost exactly analogous to the post-sale side.